Good afternoon. It is August the 21st, and I believe a Monday afternoon, and I'm out here picking figs, and I really was, I've got some Italian 258 that I got from my container figs, which I'm going to bring you there if I have time. I'm going to try to make this a quick video, but this is one, stay on board, don't abandon ship, because this video is special. It's a special moment in time when I'm picking a lot of figs, and I wanted to share this moment with you. I wait all year round for this time of year. I've been making quite a few videos, and I certainly invite you to visit and watch the videos from several locations, 2 locations. And this is my New Jersey location, and in 7A, so you know. I've said that probably 10,000 times, but believe it or not, I still have people asking, what zone are you in? So it's fine. I don't mind announcing it and trying to make it very clear in my videos exactly where I am located in New Jersey. 7B as far as the zone, 7A for New Jersey, and 7B in Virginia. This particular video is about the figs that have been getting ripe for about 8 days, 9 days here. And I made a video about 8 days ago of the O'Rourke, and you will see that video posted. And they surprised me. I think it's got a title that, you know, impromptu surprise, something like that. And I was surprised to see some very lovely O'Rourke ripened to perfection. At that time, I also got one Ronde Bordeaux. This tree is not up against the house like the O'Rourke is, so naturally it's not quite in the microclimate. It's about 12 foot, 11 or 12 foot from the house, so it's not in the warm microclimate that the O'Rourke is. But essentially, my Ronde Bordeaux are my earliest. This year, I had one Ronde Bordeaux getting ripe at the same time of the several O'Rourke. So I would say the O'Rourke beat it out. It's usually a battle, but that's because, again, the O'Rourke is up against the warm brick house, and so that gives it a slight edge. But here, I just want you to see, it's really quite magnificent just how many figs I'm picking here. And I have to admit, too, that I've eaten at least, I lost count at 14 just now. And then I said to Debbie, let me make a video quickly before I eat half the figs on this tree. They're just so wonderful and so delicious, I just can't help myself. In fact, I'm looking right now and I can just see so many perfectly, absolutely perfectly ripe figs everywhere I look. And I want you to see that. I've offered some to Debbie, and I've eaten. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were behind me.
I came to see what you were talking about.
Okay. And there's the little baby. Hey, little baby.
She's ready for Frisbee.
Yeah. Oh, she's ready for Frisbee. Okay. Well,
wow, that's something else.
I was just explaining it, how many.
Beautiful.
Aren't they just beautiful?
Yeah.
I mean, anyone has to, any fixture out there, and that's what I call all of us fig nuts. Any fixture out there, old or young, experienced or inexperienced, newbies or not, I'm sure all of you out there, likewise, appreciate a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful scene such as this, where all these magnificently ripe figs, and the birds aren't giving me any trouble, and they weren't giving me any trouble, and it's strange. They weren't giving me a lot of trouble at my other location, which I was shocked, because usually they're quite vicious in the other location. But I gave an explanation when I made my last video there, and the explanation is that there were so many Celeste trees and other fig trees on the island getting ripe that the birds were just they were completely,
Preoccupied.
yeah, totally preoccupied with somebody else's figs and not so much mine. And so I was spared this year, and I also made it clear that
Stay over here, Papa.
those birds were going to turn on me with a vengeance as soon as they were finished with those early ripening Celeste.
Over here.
And but I left that location today. I left it today, and in the morning, and so the birds are going to have a feast, and I'm not going to be there to stop them,
Papa, over here.
and that's pretty
Over here.
par for the course as far as that's concerned. These are different varieties that are getting ripe and not getting ripe. They're magnificent. And this one's my Mavricica, and I've eaten a couple of the Mavricicas. There's still some more ripe ones here. I can pick them. They're all very, very ripe. I'll open
Look
this.
at this. It was on the ground.
I'll be there in a minute. What happened?
It was on the ground over here.
On the ground? Okay. This is the Mavricica. Hey Deb, you want to bite into a Mavricica?
Which one's that?
I tell you, these are special.
Okay. Over here.
This is a Mount Etna type, but it's one of my favorite types. I don't know if
There
I
you
could
go.
ever reproduce getting it again. Of course, I have the cuttings, and someday I'll distribute them
I'll just eat the inside.
because it's really one of the largest Mount Etna types. Oh, look at that, just perfect ripeness, perfectly ripe. Oh, that one too, just wonderful. I mean, they're just beautiful. And look how big they are for a Mount Etna. They're big.
No.
And they're very tasty. Certainly one of my favorite Mount Etna variants. Remember, they're slate variants. You know, I'm standing here, I'm getting a little excited. Don't mind me, because I just get that way this time of year. When I look at these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful figs, and I just plop them in my mouth, I can't help it. Here, Deb, want one?
Yeah, I just think
Here's-
the insides of them.
There's a perfect Ronde Bordeaux. Look at all these perfect figs, Deb. Have some.
Papa found this one on the ground.
She found it on the ground?
Yeah, it was from the
Oh, you know what that is? That's LSU.
Oh,
Show it to the
pretty big.
audience here, to my figster friends. This is LSU. Break it open if you wouldn't mind.
I got all.
My hands are all full
Mine too.
already. I'm going to pop this. You want this one?
Hold on.
This is really, really good, Deb.
Wait a minute, I got.
Here, you take
stuff
this. It's good. Taste it. Don't be afraid.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, oh man.
Nice.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
They're beautiful. Look at all of them. Look at all these figs. I'm going to make a special copy of this one, and I'm going to send this to my friend Mike Kincaid. Mike Kincaid. He's a wonderful grower, great guy, fantastic person, has a huge following. He's growing up to a 500,000 subscribers, and I don't blame them, because he's just so entertaining and so knowledgeable. And he loves figs. He's made some excellent fig videos. And he's really an inquisitive guy. He's really an original fellow. Very unique, very different. I have a tremendous amount of admiration for Mike Kincaid. And he likes my videos. And he's corresponded with me quite a few times. I really enjoy his correspondence. And I love watching his progress with the figs. And he's an expert on cuttings and propagating so many things, rhododendrons, roses, anything. I don't care, A to Z. He can do it. And he does it magnificently, including figs. You want to tune in to Mike Kincaid. He doesn't need my introduction, for sure. He's just, his reputation precedes him, I'm sure. But I do love my correspondence with him, and I'm going to send him this video, make sure he gets it right away. And I just certainly do like the interaction that we share together as far as our enthusiasm for figs and for growing things in general. He's a very kind of organic guy too. He likes natural, and he's just one of those rare human beings who really possesses an extraordinary talents. Okay, so I've shown this tree to you. I wanted you to see it. And I'm eating as many as I can, like this one right here. Look at that. I mean, how could I not pop that one in my mouth? I mean, I have to do it. Wow, it's so perfect. This is what I live for when it comes to growing figs. Look at this one. Look, let me bite into this one. Watch how perfect this one is. Look at that. Look at that. Here, Deb.
There you go. Wait a minute.
Take a chew on the rest of that one.
I'll just eat the inside.
Debbie likes to wash her figs, but isn't that good? How sweet is that? Isn't it wonderful?
Delicious.
And the rich taste. What were we talking about? The LSUs? Is this the LSU, Deb?
It was on the ground. Where did
Okay, is this it though? I don't know.
No, they're a little bit lighter than that, aren't they?
What did you do with that one? The one that we opened? Is it...
I put it right back over here.
Oh, you didn't open it? Go ahead and open that. So this one must be the Mavrasica then. Let me chew that one.
This one was not quite ripe.
Okay.
Doesn't look it, at least. I'm not going to try that one.
Well, it's ripe. It's ripe.
Well, if it is, I
It's
don't
not
like
juicy,
yeah,
right?
I don't like the looks.
Well,
of
they're
it.
just starting, and I spoke several times and made a video about attempting to stagger your figs. And over the years, I have
1 minute.
striven, if that's a good word, to accomplish that by choosing certain varieties that get ripe at slightly different times. But let's face it, during the summer, during the ripening season, there's always an overlap. You're going to get a period of time when they're all converging on one another and getting ripe. Even my Peter's honey are ripening here, and that was Peter's honey. And this was the O'Rourke that I made a film of about 8 days ago, and it's still making lots of fruit, because look how many fruits there are on this O'Rourke. And I went into detail about these figs. Let me try to reach under here.
Like, where's my little pig?
Give her one.
She can just have a little pig.
Oh, there's lots of wonderful, beautiful ripe O'Rourkes.
She likes
Perfectly. Look at that. Which, of course, the parent of O'Rourke is, one of the parents of O'Rourke is
just a little bit.
Celeste. And let's jump over to the Celeste, because look at all these Celeste figs on my Celeste fig tree. Look at that, all the way up to the top there. It's got to be an easy 12 foot or more high. It's nearly to the peak of the house, and huge, just a huge tree, and it's just completely loaded with figs, ripe figs, every place, everywhere. Okay, so I want you to see this. This is that time of the year, I say, when the figs kind of all converge and they're getting ripe. Some are getting ripe on every variety. Here's another of my Ronde Bordeaux fig trees in the ground. It's been in the ground several years, and again, just a wonderful, wonderful production. Just laden, heavily laden with fruit everywhere. Another one of my Ronde Bordeaux. Hey, what are you doing there?
Just looking for her fig.
Okay.
I'm just going to give you a little bit because
Here's a O'Rourke.
she likes Celeste.
Okay. She likes Celeste. A picky dog. Now you will see here that the Alma, which was a cross at the University of Alabama, the Alma is not getting ripe. See, again, staggering the figs. And this one does not have a ripe fig on it, although just look at how many figs it has on it. Let me step around this tree, because it's quite magnificent, quite impressive. Look at that. Look at all these figs. It's a big tree. I mean, I try to keep them not too big, but that's a nice sized tree. And look at all the fruit on this tree. Fortunately, thank goodness, this one's not getting ripe yet. It gives me a little bit of a break. And my Multi-Black is getting ripe, but it's not really. I just ate 2 of these a little while ago, but they are getting ripe, but they're not all getting ripe at once, right now, fortunately. So it gives me a little bit of break. Let's open this one up. Here, take this one. Take the O'Rourke.
Wait a minute, I have my hands
You
full.
can open the O'Rourke for them. I opened them
hands
before.
full of,
Okay.
the skins
Yeah, this.
that I
But
didn't.
here's the Multi-Black, and this is also woo.
Which one's this?
That's O'Rourke.
Okay.
That's O'Rourke.
Okay.
Take a bite if you want.
Oh,
eat
that
all
has
you want.
grass on it.
Oh, look what I
It
did.
got hay
Can
and
you pick
grass.
that grass off there? Look
Wait
at
a
that. I'll eat that
Wait a
one.
minute. Ooh.
I don't care.
Wait a minute. Let me get
It's
that.
not going to hurt me. A little bit of grass. Come on.
Okay.
Well, this Malta Black is one of my favorite of the variants of the Mount Etna types or Hardy Chicago types. I say Hardy Chicago. And it's very tasty, very reliable, very prolific, very dependable. It's just a magnificent fig. I really, really like it. I grew this in containers also. And this one's been in the ground for quite a few years. I told the story about running half of it over with my lawnmower. I broke it in half. And now I have one part that's leaning over. It would have been a much bigger tree, but I almost destroyed that tree. But it's doing fine. I've got to propagate it and do an air layer soon so I can replicate it and make sure I'll have it into perpetuity. Not right now, but
Well,
I'm going to pop this one in my mouth, this Malta Black.
one with all the hay.
It is special.
Fig with a little
All right.
fried hay.
It's very rich. Hey, Deb, you eat that. Eat that hay.
Which one's that?
This is the Malta Black. I gotta wash my figs. Please go
I
ahead.
don't know. I'm just going to eat the inside of it.
Okay, go ahead.
Delicious.
Isn't it? It's so good. You're not gonna eat that skin?
It's sweet and creamy.
wow.
Nah.
Give me. I'll take it. I'll take it. We'll
Big
fight it. A brawl. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this short. Except I mentioned I've got a lot of figs getting ripe. My container figs too, all over the place. Now, interestingly, this is my dad. I've talked about this tree. I see one ripe one down there, just barely ripe. But this is a special strain of Celeste that I just absolutely love. And there's not a lot getting ripe on it. So there's a couple in there, but not many getting ripe. I'll explore it more. What's that, Dad?
She wanted a little piece of fig.
Oh, she likes this Celeste
There's a
one.
nice ripe one.
There's probably riper ones on the other Celeste, the ordinary Celeste
Yeah,
tree.
this looks pretty ripe.
Okay, there you go. Let her have some.
Just a little bit, because she already
Okay,
has some.
that's a very good tasting. That's a much better tasting Celeste than the other.
Oh, that's good, huh?
Ooh, look at that.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You happy now? Okay, so I think I'm going to just meander out there towards the greenhouse where I have my trees
Do you want me to take
being
those
sheltered from all the rain. We had an inordinate amount of rain this year, but fortunately it's not affecting my in-ground figs, and I am so grateful for that. I'm sorry, Deb, what?
down? Do you want me to take that in? And
Yeah,
put it in a bowl for them?
I'm gonna pick. I'll pick the rest of these tomorrow because there's too many, and it's getting
Yeah.
dark, and the mosquitoes are gonna come out,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of tired. So I mean, I would like to maybe eat a couple more.
Okay, till tomorrow, won't they?
I gotta stop eating so many, Deb. I'm gonna probably come out with overnight sugar diabetes. You know what I mean? But oh, I see it real right. Let me get that one. Oh, wow! I tell you, I enjoy these. I just like my Ronde Bordeaux. You know,
You want more?
I planted my Ronde Bordeaux on very high ground, and I've mentioned this many times. Plant your figs high and dry, and you won't get all of the splitting and cracking and spoiling. And you'll just be so much more satisfied if you do that. All of my trees are up on the highest ground that I can get them on. All of them. Absolutely superb. Superb. Okay, I'm going to pause. We're going to take a quick look in the greenhouse. Be right back. Okay, on the way to the container figs, I thought I'd stop at my Sicilian Dark or Sicilian Black. And I've talked about this fig several times, and they're beginning to get ripe. This one's very ripe. This one, look at that. Let me take a bite. Wow. I like this variant. Creamy. Very rich. Very tasty. Just, I like my figs sweet too, and this sweet. So good. But Fortunately, there we go with the staggering again, that concept. Fortunately, most of these figs are not getting ripe yet. And thank goodness for that, because I already feel quite overwhelmed. But I like to show you other figs in my collection. Okay, so Sicilian Dark. A wonderful, look how many figs are on this tree. Just, if you can see that, I'm sure that you figsters out there can appreciate this tree. I so love this tree. Here we go, putting you on hold again. There's another Mount Etna type. I featured this tree last time too and talked about it being one that I often make cuttings from, or make air layers and gift them to my friends and such, because it is just has a lot of good qualities. I spoke about it before, I won't go into it again, but there's not many getting ripe, but there's some getting ripe. Fortunately, I'm happy. And here's one that is very ripe, and one ant running across it. Let's take a look inside. Wow, that's rich. This is a great year for figs. Gosh, that had a perfumey taste. It's the first one I've eaten this year. I never used that expression before. Let me think that over for a second. I mean, it was appropriate though. There was like a special, I don't know, really something that was different. How do you explain these things, you know? From year to year, you get a little variation. Let's open this one up too. We'll take another look. There we go. This one's ripe. This is, I call this my Mount Etna or Hardy Chicago Unknown, because, and I told the story, I never told the story about this. I don't have time now. I promise you I will. I want to show you my container figs real fast. I'm going to have to take a bite of this one. These figs, this particular tree never had this wonderful taste. These are extraordinary, exquisite, very delicious. There's an after bite or aftertaste that's perfumey. I mean, it's aromatic. Well, I hope we don't get any rain, and I hope the rest of these figs taste like that. Okay, we'll have to speak about this in greater detail. This is extraordinary. Hold on. Now I have a whole bunch of figs behind the barns in my fig garden collection, different varieties, and we'll have to do that little walk next time, I promise, because I don't want this video to run too long. But I wanted to come through here. We were away for a while, and our son took over, as he does when we're not here, and he was eating a lot of figs all over the place, in the ground, in here, and I left the figs in here because I like to get them out as much as I can, but it was raining so much, and I left that in one of my videos about 8 days ago. It was raining so much that I was just, I was tired of just carrying them in and out, and so I just decided to leave them here where they'd be protected against the fierce winds out here and all of the rain. I'm glad that I did, and our son has been picking an awful lot the last 7 or 8 days. And I was picking them too in a video I made about 8 days ago. And this is Smith, and there's quite a few Smith that we've been eating for a long time. Smith is one of my favorite figs. I've made other videos. Look how rich it is. Look how beautiful. Look at the color on that. I mean, you just know, all of you experienced figsters out there know how delicious this fig is just by looking at it. You can just tell by just looking at it. And there's still plenty, fortunately. My son didn't get to eat them all. There's still plenty left, more than I need. I'll take a bite. Excellent. Excellent. Smith is an excellent fig. Unfortunately, I can't grow it in the ground in 7A. I tried, and it died. A beautiful tree died, a big tree. And it died all the way down, which I rarely ever have that happen, where even the roots were killed. It is sort of a tender fig, not hardy. But I am growing it successfully in 7B in a microclimate, which I talked about in my other videos, if you ever care to watch those videos. And so I'm very excited. I have one that's growing magnificently. I call it my super tree. And I've spoken about it often in my other videos. Here we have, wait a minute. Look at this. Wow, I'm surprised. This is that tree I had, and we talked not long ago. I released a video just a little while ago, just 2 days ago. I released a video where I talked about Pastiliaria, that's how I pronounce it. I don't know how to, really. And here it is. And I mentioned in there that this tree is notorious for dropping its fruit, and that I had a special potting mix, and I was doing an experiment. I talked all about it in that video. It was just a week ago, 8 days ago. And I just released it, though. It was a late release. It says late release because I just released it 2 days ago. And I mentioned that I had hoped, with my strategy on nutrition, I wanted to see if it was true that this tree was going to abort or drop all of its fruit, which customarily I am told it does for the first few years. And I said, this is an experiment, and I wanted to carry on this experiment to see if I could keep these figs from falling off. And I'm sure that my son has been eating some of them. I can see where they've been picked. And here's one right here. Let me just pick it. There we go. They did not fall off. And there's quite a few left on. I'm going to ask him about this tree and ask him what he thought of the taste. But let's open one up. This is wonderful. They did not fall off. They didn't fall off. You know, my potting mixes, I've talked about my potting mixes many times. They're different. They're completely different than anything that I've seen on the internet or on YouTube. I make up my own potting mixes, and I have several videos on that. Rather than me expound upon the subject, you can watch those videos. I think you'll enjoy the videos. But look at that. That's my first. I've never eaten this variety. This was a gift from a friend a couple years ago. And it's growing magnificently. And just in that video 2 days ago that I released, you will see that there was more figs on it. I don't think they fell because my son wouldn't have picked them up. And I know that he's been eating a lot of figs. And I'm assuming that he ate them. And there's plenty getting ripe here. So this is a success. I said I was experimenting. This is a total success. I'm going to get to taste this variety. And the figs didn't fall off. Here we go. I'm going to taste it. Well, I can tell you it's good. And I can tell you it's different. Right away, it has a different flavor. I'm very hopeful that this tree is going to be a useful workhorse in my fig collection in the future. I can tell you already. Let me gobble. I'm going to save this for Debbie and get her opinion. Let me put this over here on this log, and I'll let her taste it too. But that was very different. That could have gone another day, so I'm going to let these go until they're super ripe. But I am impressed with that, and the flavor is unique. The flavor is certainly unique, and I want you to know. Oh, here, look at this. Look at this fig. Look at this. Here's another Smith. Look at that. This tree here is a Smith. It's plenty of ripe figs on it still. And I'm going to gobble another one. That is so good. Debbie has plenty of these, so I'm just going to eat this one. I love Smith. But I am impressed with this. Look at the leaves, they're different. You know, I wanted to say, and I'm glad I'm going to say before I lost my train of thought, this tree I have pegged for the ground in 7B. I have a little location that I prepared. Again, don't tell Debbie, please. I'm going to skip over this part. If she's in the room with me when I'm playing this video, I'm going to skip over this part because she's going to kill me. But I do have a place that I prepared for this tree. I want it to grow in 7B in the ground, and I'll certainly keep you apprised of my progress in the future. And here we are going with Italian 258. Italian 258, and we're just go up the tree, and there's another one nice and ripe right there. I've got some in the container that I picked a little earlier that I showed you in the beginning of the video. I'm looking at them now. There's a bunch of Black Madeira trees here, both young and older, of different age groups. This is Figo Preto, which my son reported to me that he's been eating a lot of them. They're getting ripe, and you can see that they are getting ripe. Figo Preto, which is one of my favorites, which is, in my opinion, so close to Black Madeira that if you can get it less expensively anywhere, then I would recommend it, as long as it's a healthy tree and it's grown by someone who takes the necessary precautions to provide you with a healthy, vigorous tree. I think you're just as well off getting the Figo Preto. But the scaffolding is different on this tree. That's why I would separate it slightly from Black Madeira. It's a little bit slight. I think it ripens a little tiny bit earlier too. Has been my experience over the years. It gets ripe just a little bit earlier, and the scaffolding is kind of odd. The way it grows is a little different, in my opinion. I'm not the most experienced with Preto or Black Madeira, but my observations are that it's slightly different, mostly in its growth pattern, and the fact that it might be just a little earlier, but the figs are of equal quality to the Black Madeira. All right, I don't have any Black Madeira that I see. Oh, I should have said that. Here's one getting ripe right here. So I'm going to have to ask our son if he ate any Black Madeira while we were away. He will know, and I will ask him. This is Black Madeira. It's a very beautiful tree, and I love it, and I have a lot of these trees. And here is Ronde Bordeaux, and you will notice in the video about 8 days ago, 7 or 8 days ago, probably 8 days, that it was getting ripe, and there was a lot of ripe figs. Now, my son ate a lot of them, I'm sure. They're gone. But fortunately, I've got 2 trees in the ground, which I just featured. So I've got plenty. I don't know, what is this fig tree? This fig tree here is what? Another Smith, I think. Take a look. Oh, no. Long yellow. Yeah. Yellow long neck. How about that? It's making figs. Ripe figs. Let's show you. Break this one open. There we go. Yellow long neck. I'm going to devour this fig right now. Excellent. Really different. Really, really good. Chewy, a this one, thick-skinned, sweet skin. Wonderful mixture of complex, yes, I would say complex flavors. I'm really, hey, Deb, look at this. Yellow long neck. I didn't know that one was ripe. Do you want to try it? Tell me what you think of this one.
Oh, let's see.
Oh, gotta wash my face.
Sweet and it's good.
It's rich, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what the word. I'm trying to think of the word.
Isn't it good? And the skin, that's the best part too.
No, I don't eat the skin unless I wash it.
Okay, all right. But, okay, so I'm all finished out here, Deb. Here,
Yeah, that was really good.
if you want this, I saved this for you because guess what? This Pastiglieri, that's the way I call it,
Ripen?
it did. It did get ripened since we were gone.
Okay, wait a minute. I gotta check and see what she's getting into. What are you doing?
Well, I just saved this piece for you because it's a very different taste. And it could have gone another day. Okay, so here we go.
The old could have went another day.
Yeah. Well, I usually pick them pretty good, but I was in a hurry since I had the video on, and it surprised me. I was shocked to see that they had gotten ripe. They didn't fall. They're notorious for falling off.
Yeah.
And they didn't fall off.
It's
So
good, but like you said, it could have probably went another day.
yeah, that one I think it could have gone another day, but it's very, very tasty. It's very different, you know. So I'm very happy. I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for visiting, everyone. I don't have any ideas about planting this fig in the ground, Deb. So if you hear anybody, if anybody tells you or tries to suggest that I have plans to put this tree in the ground,
But there's no room for any more fig trees. So I don't know what you're going to do with them.
what?
You got to take one out to put another one in. There's no more room.
Well, okay. Well, if that's the argument, right? Okay, let's try to develop around that concept. What if I was able to or managed to make a place to put a fig tree in the ground?
I don't see any other places I can go.
Okay, so all right. So like I said, if you hear any rumors from anybody that I was suggesting,
Go check her room.
don't believe anything you hear, Deb. All right. Well, thank you. Hey, Popsy, what you doing?
Oh, there she is.
You want some more figs? Do you want some more figs? Do you want some more figs? She wants another one, Mom.
No, she had enough. She'll get a bellyache.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
With that, good day.
You want another one, but it'll give you a bellyache. Oh, goodness. You want the fries? Okay, you want to go get the first? Go eat it.
Beautiful, huh? There's my fig garden over there, and we'll run through there in the future. For now, thanks for watching.